Greetings. Welcome to Counseling 5613, Psychosocial Aspects of Addiction. I am so thrilled you're here. Are you ready for a great semester? This is going to be for our summer class, and we are going to have a blast. We're going to learn a lot, have loads of fun. And for those of you who don't like to fight parking at the downtown campus, this is going to be the funnest thing you've ever done because you don't have to travel to the downtown campus. Everything is asynchronous. It's all online. Now, I might not have everything up right now online, but I will by the end of the week, by the end of the first week or second week, I'll have everything there for you. Right now, I'm double checking links and making sure that everything's going good. But this is an asynchronous course. Go ahead, say it. Asynchronous. That is fun, isn't it? So you don't have to fight for parking. You don't have to buy lunch in the cafe downtown and get a cruddy Subway or whatever it is for an inflated amount of money, and you don't have to fight the traffic in downtown San Antonio in the summer. Is this great or what? So welcome to Counseling 5613, Psychosocial Aspects of Addictions Counseling. I am thrilled to have you here. I want this to be the best course you've ever had. I want it to be outstanding for you, and I'm just so honored to be able to serve you. So let me tell you a little bit about the course. This is going to be our introduction. So for our introduction, so the first thing you're going to see in red is it says summer courses are 5 weeks shorter than fall and spring courses. So this course, we're going to cover the same amount of material that you would fall semester or spring semester, but it's 10 weeks versus 15 weeks. So hold on just a minute. I'm not a good mathematician, but I know you are. So what do we know if we're going to cover basically 16 weeks worth of material in 10 weeks? It means we're going to be moving at a very fast pace. What that means to you is this may not be the right course for you to take. So if you are big plans for the summer and you're not going to be here, or you have low energy, or you're going through a divorce, a separation, there are physical issues, you've got something going on that's going to be problematic for you to be able to watch the videos and take the tests on deadline, then this probably isn't going to be the course for you. However, the nice thing for most of us is that the course is all set up so you don't have to come to a class. Basically what you do is you turn on your computer whenever it's convenient for you. You watch the videos, you read the book along with it. The videos augment the book. Often the videos are based on my clinical experience or materials that probably are not in the book. And so it's the idea to be able to make this a real encompassing learning experience. I got my master's degree in 1986. That was a good year. And I've been counseling people since 1986. I worked in private practice. I worked for the Michigan Supreme Court training arm, which is the Judicial Institute, training folks how to do suicide and substance abuse assessments. And I've worked at community mental health agencies, inpatient units. So I've been working since 1986. In 1991, I became a faculty member. And this has been just a wonderful job. I've taught this and other addictions courses since 1991. So I think I've taught this specific course probably the last 8 or 10 semesters. It is a fun course, and I want you to just have a blast. So grab a Coca-Cola or Pepsi or sweet tea, whatever you're drinking, and let's figure out how we can make this introduction go well and the course go well for you too. So know that this course is shorter than our regular fall and spring semester courses, which means we've really got to kick it on out, and we're going to be covering a lot of material. So let me just introduce the rest of the course for you. So the course is 100% asynchronous. We have no meeting times, but we do have examinations, and you need to get your examinations in on time. We've got 4 tests, 1 KPI. Those all have due dates. You need to meet those due dates, or you will forfeit the points you would get from off the examination or off the KPI. The final exam is due by 11 p.m. on August 8th. Let me say that again. Final exam is due 11 p.m. August 8th. So please make sure you get your materials on in, and we'll see what we can do. I will be calling you throughout the semester, so I'll be giving you telephone calls, see how you're doing. Figure if I call, it doesn't mean there's something bad going on. It just means I want to talk to you. I want to get to know who you are, see if I can answer any questions you might have. So the course is 3 credit hours. I don't believe there are any prerequisites for the course. The book we're going to be utilizing is DeWeco. It's the DeWeco 10th edition. It was published in 2019. It is a thick book, but the chapters are really short. So we've got a ton of different chapters to go through, but the chapters are short, and all you need to do is read the chapters. Now, for the examinations in this class, get this, it's open book. So you can have the DeWeco text, you're going to have my PowerPoints and the DeWeco text, my video or audio lectures. You've got all those you can use as you're taking the test. So the DeWeco book is right there. You can look up the chapters, and if you look, the questions that I have for the test usually tell you what chapter the question is from. So if you're taking the test, get the DeWeco book out, and question number 1, if it says it's chapter 1, look at chapter 1, have that on out when you start to go through it. And I'll give you plenty of time to take the test. So usually it's like 112 minutes or something like that. So my math's not good, but 112 minutes is pretty significant. The tests are 20 questions each. They're multiple choice or true and false. So the big book you're going to need is going to be the DeWeco text. I've got some supplemental books. You don't have to purchase them. You don't have to get them. One of the supplemental books is the APA 5th edition of the DSM. Don't have to buy it. I'm just saying that because we're going to be talking about narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. Incidentally, I think there's a question on one of your tests that asks which personality disorder has the highest frequency of substance use disorders, and I believe that would be antisocial personality disorder. So if you'll see that, you've already got the answer to one of your first questions. Antisocial personality disorder typically has a higher frequency of people who are substance using. So anyway, so I've got some supplemental readings that are on there, including the Junkie Hagedorn, 2nd edition of Counseling Addicted Families. That's based on a model of family treatment that I utilize and I use with my supervision. I've been training students in that since about 1992. And some of what we talk about in this class is going to be related to the sequential family counseling model. So it'll be good. Your syllabus talks about supplemental video links. You will have a syllabus. On that syllabus are video links for each class period. So all you got to do is go to the video link. Some of those are my lectures to you. Some of them are other lectures. Dr. Sue related to multicultural counseling. Dr. Poti related to some things that she's encountered. She's phenomenal. And so take a look at those videos. Watch them, enjoy them, and see if they make a match for you. I'm also going to be talking about, in one of the videos I've got, is related to the history of counseling. How exciting is that, the history of counseling? Oh man, you better have a cup of coffee when you watch that one. So, and it tells you a little bit about our counseling history and how we became a profession and what's different between us and social work and psychology. So those are important things to do. Syllabus gives you the counseling program mission, mission-based student learning objectives, the course connection to the portfolio, instructional methods. Everything here is going to be online, so we don't meet. I know some of you are saying, holy cow, I want to meet. I know, this is asynchronous, so being asynchronous, everything is going to be online. You've got Junkie audio lecture, you've got Junkie video lecture, you've got Junkie PowerPoints. I'm even throwing in the DeWeco PowerPoints. Now, can you say flashcards? So read the DeWeco text. I'm not saying don't do that, but the DeWeco PowerPoints give you a good idea what's in the text and can be very helpful to you. So I've got internet links. Now, that being said, let me back up just a second. People freak out. Oh no! Everybody freaks out when they go to a link and it isn't working. Well, if it's not working for you, send me an email and let me know. The link seems to be broken. I am checking the links even now as we're going through this, and everything seems to be good and up and running. But if you run into a thing and you and your friends from class just can't seem to get into that link, don't worry. Just send me an email and let me see if we can figure it out. Also, if you have problems, call Tech Cafe at 210-458-5555. Again, that's Tech Cafe, 210-458-5555, or Blackboard support, and they should be able to help you. So take a look, see what can happen. Also, if you'd be so kind, because I want to make telephone calls to you. I'm not going to call you every week, but I'd like to call you every once in a while, see how you're doing, see what's going on in the class. I need your telephone number. So please send me an email and let me know your telephone number. I'd really like your telephone number. Now, some of you are saying, hey, that telephone number is supposed to be in Banner. Yeah, I know. The reality is probably half of the Banner information I have, half of the Banner information does not have your telephone number, and half of the Banner information does not have your picture. So I can't recognize you when I see you at Walmart or HEB or something like that. So let me know who you are, and I want to get to know you a little bit. So need your telephone number. I don't need your picture, but a telephone number, and that way I can call you. And if you can give me your cell number, I'd appreciate that. So that'll be helpful. So thank you so much for providing your cell phone number to me. I appreciate that. That way I can talk to you. There's a student guide to online learning. I'm giving you a copy for that. Actually, what most of my videos that I've done, like this one, are in YouTube, and so you have a YouTube link that you can go to, and there are advantages to that, and I hope that you find those to be helpful. Related to class recordings, you don't need to record the class. You have all my classes and all the links. They're already there for you. So you don't need to record, but if you want to, you certainly can do. Again, all course assignments and tests are due no later than the assigned due date, time, and dates. And to be fair to every student who completed everything by the assigned date and time, no late materials or tests will be accepted. Please submit all materials and tests by deadline, or you'll nullify all assignment or test points. So see what you can do on that. I have people sometimes tell me, hey, I tried to get this in, but the power went out. Well, I've tried to back up the due dates as far as I can. What I would encourage you to do is get things turned in before the due dates, and that'll be helpful to you. And that way we won't encounter it. If you've got a problem, call Tech Cafe, see if they can help you with it. And what folks don't realize, because I have people in the past, over the past few years, who've called and said, or who've written and said, I tried to, put this in, and when I contact Tech Cafe or Blackboard support, they can tell who was logged in, when you were logged in, if you were cut off, if they cut you off, if you cut themselves off. So they have a lot of information about you. What I need you to do is just be the adult that you are. You're a master's student. Good Lord, you're phenomenal. You're the best. You are incredibly brilliant. You've gotten this far in the program, and you're doing a good job. So just use your wisdom. You've got wisdom. You've got high intelligence. Make sure you get your materials in before the deadline. And it's not a big deal. You can do it. It is a big deal if you miss it, though. Because if you miss it, you don't get the points that you want. And I want you to get all the points you can possibly get. So please, go ahead and, do what you got to do to get the materials in. It's an open book test. Think about this for a minute. When was the last time you had an open book test? So it's open book, it's open video, it's open PowerPoint, it's open, you've got everything you need. So just go in there, do an outstanding job. I want to talk about student disability services for a minute. If you're struggling with physical, emotional, some kind of issues that would fall under the preview of student disability services, please contact them. Give them the materials you have from your doctor, whatever they need to do to make things happen. Actually, they are wonderful people over at Student Disability Services. So go talk to them, get everything set on up. Now, you need to do that before, some people try to go over there after the first test or after the second test. I can't make any changes. UTSA won't allow me to make any changes in grades or do anything if you have not gone to Student Disability Services ahead of time. So you got to go to Student Disability Services, then they will send a letter that you and I need to look over, and we'll figure out what works for everybody, including being fair to students who are enrolled in the course. Everybody's got to have a fair shot. So it's about equity, it's about being fair, and I think we can probably come up with some good things for you. But it's got to happen before assignments and before tests. If you go there after assignments or after tests, no changes can be made. So if there's something related to student disabilities, please go over there now. They're wonderful people. They want to be helpful, and I want to be helpful too. And so if there's something that you're struggling with, send me an email and let me know. I want it to be good for you. But contact Student Disability Services if you got something. And that being said, if you're going through a divorce, if you've got, a family member who passes away, if you've got, life is filled with struggles. Life is wicked. Life is hard. So if you're encountering something, give me a heads up and let me know what's happening. Now, you don't have to say I've got, this diagnosis or, this illness. You can just give me an email and say, Dr. Junkie, my son's in the hospital, or, my mom's just passed away, or my partner just left me. Give me an idea of what's going on so I can try to be helpful to you. And that doesn't eliminate the fact that you got to get materials in on time, but it helps us understand what's going on. And it's imperative that you let me know what's happening so I can be helpful to you. The truth is 99% of the students that I work with are incredible adults, and they're just phenomenal. They're like you. They just are phenomenal. So if you got something going on in your world that's very difficult and a challenge, send me an email. Let me know what's going on, and how I could be helpful to you. So I'd appreciate that. I can't make big changes to the syllabus because it's got to be equitable to everybody, but I'll try to be as supportive as I possibly can. Ethical standards. We have ethical standards for the university, for counseling profession. Please just follow ethical standards. If there's a problem, a fitness to practice resulting from the course, and it's an ethical violation, you can get a final grade of F, no matter what that is. So, you don't want ethical violations. We're going into a profession that has very strong ethics. We need those ethics. Because people are going to say, where did he graduate from? Or where did she graduate from? So we are only as good as our weakest link. What I'm trying to say is we want to make sure everybody who comes through the program meets all the standards related to fitness to practice and is doing great, and that they're ethical and that they're doing all the right things. What happens sometimes is I get inundated with internship sites, and people are saying, wow, so-and-so is terrific, and I love that. What I don't like is to have somebody say, do you know that so-and-so cheated on the test, or so-and-so did this or that. That being said, please do not ask anybody in your Google's groups, or don't ask peers in the groups, what did you get for answer so-and-so on test such and such if the test is open. Now, this summer, all these tests are open. So, you've got to be really cautious about that, because it's typically not the person you ask, but somebody else overhears that you've asked a question about the test, what the other person got, and then there's a fitness to practice on you and the person who answered you. So, let's just stay away from that. Let's not ask about test questions. Let's not ask about, what did you get for number 7? Just see what's going on. We really don't have absences in the class, and attendance we really don't have. So, but with that, stay you know, the syllabus tells you what we're going to be discussing for a certain week. Stay on that. Don't get behind. Don't get behind. Otherwise, you know, it's not a good thing. When you get behind, you feel overwhelmed. COVID is still rampant. I think I've had COVID 3 or 4 times now. It is a miserable thing. And so just take precautions, and if you contract COVID, you know, let me know and help me understand what is going on so I can be helpful to you, and I would appreciate that. So thank you so very much. Wow, got messages coming in apparently. On the left-hand side of the course Blackboard, you'll see I've got a spot there for the syllabus. Go take a look at the syllabus. Download it, look it on over, and you know, see what's on there. It'll give you an idea of what we're doing every week and what's happening. Also, you know, I've got basically weekly lectures, junkie lectures that will be there, or junkie video or audio lectures. And, you know, go to those every week and see what you've got. And, just be the outstanding person that you are. Syllabus talks about our common syllabus information, standardized syllabus, all the things. We've got every CACREP standard that we're going to be talking about in the class is listed. Every Texas education or administrative code that we're going to be going through is listed. You'll see lots of those codes listed there, and tells what weeks we'll be touching on those standards for each code. Talks about our fitness to practice policy. Let me take a step back related to fitness to practice. So if you've got something going on, give me an email. Just send me an email. I prefer you not to call me because I have a number of students, and emails are better for me. I can respond, and I might call you back. So give me a telephone number where I can contact you readily, and you know, let's figure out what's going on. But please, you know, don't call me after hours at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I'd really appreciate it if you wouldn't do that. Just send me an email. If you've got something that's a concern, just let me know. We'll try to work through it. If things aren't working well for you and you don't like the class, you don't like me, whatever it is, you know, send me an email. Let me know. If you don't like something, send me an email. I'll try to work with you on everything. But we do have a list of other options of people you can contact if you don't want to talk to me, and that'll give you some ideas. And then we do have course evaluations at the end of the semester, and if you fill those on out, those are kind of mandated by the university. Next thing we see on our course syllabus is you see our tests. First test is due Saturday, June 17th. It's covering weeks 1, 2, and 3. The second test is due on July 8th. You know, look at your syllabus. It tells you what materials are being covered. We also have a KPI, and the KPI for this class, KPI, Key Performance Indicator, is for CACREP. And I didn't make this on up. It was something that was given to me. So your help is really appreciated related to that. What we want to show CACREP is our people know how to do these different things. And what CACREP, I think, is looking at is they're trying to ensure that when we talk about substance use disorders, that we understand the impact on the family, we understand the impact of substance use disorders on people's jobs, their work, their career. And so I'll be making a separate video on that KPI. But the syllabus gives you the dates for each one of the tests, and then it gives you the grade equivalent scores for those tests and for the grand mean score for the class. For the KPI, there are a number of questions, and the questions, if I'm not mistaken, the questions are 6 points apiece, or there are 6 questions, 5 points apiece. And don't just use a bullet statement. You know, you're a graduate student, so use APA style, double space, remove deadwood words like that. You should never have that in any APA paper except for certain unusual times. But you know, get rid of the deadwood words. Numbers 9 and down. between 0 and 9, those are spelled out alphabetically. Numbers 10 and above are numerically put into the paper. So eliminate run-on sentences. So if you've got a sentence that goes over 2.5 or 3, if you have a sentence that's long, going over 2.5 or 3 lines, you probably can break that sentence down. So do staccato sentences. How many of you are former piano players or music players? Band from high school, or maybe a current band, I don't know. But staccato, just short, brief. And APA style is more factual, more scientific. It's not creative writing. It's more factual and scientific. So make sure you use the correct APA style, and you'll see the scoring for the KPI there. Coming up on our syllabus is week 1. Week 1, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. It's the introduction to the course. I'm going to be talking about teleology. Teleology is a cool thing, folks. So we're going to talk about professional counseling history, junkies, powerful 3, interfacing and interacting with the court system, tolerance, withdrawal, vocabulary, routes of drug administration. We got a ton of stuff going on here. So you'll have chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 to read, and then I've got links to different videos to watch or audios to listen to. And just click on those, and that'll take you to where you need to go. Week 2, can you believe we're already talking about week 2 out of a 10-week semester? Woohoo! Incidentally, those videos by Dr. Poteet are phenomenal. She does a great job, so you will enjoy those. Week 2, we're going to be talking about commonly abused substances and multicultural barriers. We're also going to be talking about ONET. ONET is a online career test that people can take. And remember, when we have clients who have been substance using for a long period of time, oftentimes developmentally they are truncated. In other words, their lives, if they started using substances in middle or high school, developmentally they haven't gone through many of those developmental markers, many of those developmental things. So oftentimes they'll be 5 or 10 years, a little chronological age, they might be 22, 25. They've missed some developmental experiences that most 22, 25-year-olds have encountered. And so one of those is related to how to get a career or figure out what college major to go for. And so ONET is an online test that your clients can take. You can administer it to them online, or they can take it online and then bring the results back to you and talk to them about that. They use what they call the ONET interest profiler. And I've got a video showing you how to use this with your clients and explaining that to you. And that's going to be related to our KPI. Another thing that's there is I'm giving you a link to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Occupational Outlook Handbook. That is vitally important. So when your clients come in, especially those who have lost jobs because of their substance use disorder, you can sit down with them and talk to them and find out. You can do ONET to find out what kind of careers are a match for them, and then use the Occupational Outlook Handbook to help them understand what amount of education is required for that career, what that job's typically like, pay, how much do people make who have that. And so it's a good instrument to have. You'll be learning more about that. Week 3, we're going to be talking about taking care of yourself and the neurobiology of addictions. Got a couple links related to taking care of yourself. There's an APA article related to taking care of yourself, and an article on neurobiology of addictions, which is really important to know. Week 4, can you believe we're almost halfway through the class at this point? Biopsychophysiology, inhalant stages, social cultural theory of addictions. So got a couple of videos there for you to watch, actually quite a few. Week 5, we're going to be talking about useful assessment instruments. So assessment instruments for adults, assessment instruments for kids. You've got the SASE, which is the Substance Abuse Subtle Screening Inventory 4. You also have the AUDET, the CRAFT, which is for kids. And then you have the CLISPA model. I'll be telling you how to use the CLISPA model. That's a model that I created, as well as the drinking and drugging timeline. So those assessments are commonly used. And we're going to talk about these assessments. Week 6, we're going to talk about suicide assessment and treatment. Many people who abuse substances or who are have a substance use disorder, many of them will have periods where they're really down and where they're suicidal. So this week 6 is specific to helping you understand the ASAM criteria, and also helping you with ASAM is the American Society of Addictions Medicine, and they have different levels, so different levels of that. There's a video related to that. Also the suicide assessment, how to assess for suicide and how to intervene if somebody is suicidal. Week 7, we're going to be talking about relapse and support groups, infectious diseases, because as you know, if I'm using all the time, I'm not taking good care of myself. Week 8, we're going to talk about sequential family and individual models. We've got video links to go to. Week 9 is about family addictions. And then week 10 is pulling everything all together. And we might talk about gaming, internet gaming, things along that line. And then we have the test that's due, the final exam, which is due, I believe, on August 8th at 11 p.m. August 8th at 11 p.m. Now, I've been a professor during the pandemic, and you've been a student probably during the pandemic. And one thing I know is that when we go through those times where something happens, we've got to figure out a way to handle things. And so that might require us changing dates or, different things that are unexpected, different things in the course. I reserve the right to make changes to the course, all to benefit the students. So it's all to be beneficial to you. And, the whole thing is, if we get to a point where we need to change dates or times, hurricane comes through, tornado comes through, goes down UTSA, I reserve the right to make some changes if we need to do that. Hope that's helpful for you. Remember, don't share answers, don't talk about answers. We've got due dates. Again, I want to make this class the very best for you. So listen to me. Believe it or not, I was a master's student just like you at one time. Actually, not just like you. You're far more intelligent and able, and you know much more about the world and addictions than I did probably when I went through my program. But one thing I know, if we make a relationship between you and me, and if you have a relationship with other people, even though it's an asynchronous course, you connect with other people, you know other people, research demonstrates that the more we're connected, typically the more people are invested in the course. So your investment means a lot. As a former master's student, I can, I understand. I understand many of the things that you're facing, and I also understand what it's like to be a master's student. You will get what you put into this course. If you're not invested in this course, if you're just taking the course and you're not really invested, you don't have any desire to learn about substance use disorder, you're probably not going to get much out of the course. But if you're invested in the course, I think you're going to find this to be an outstanding course, and you will learn a lot. And a lot of the things I'm going to teach you have utility, whether you're working with somebody who's got a substance use disorder or somebody who's got depression or a career issue or marital problems, family problems, partnership problems. I understand that. During my master's course, one of the things that I had to take was a group class. You have to take a group class as well. My instructor was incredible, and he was trained in group therapy at Gestalt Institute in the early 60s, and he was outstanding related to groups. And we had to participate, you did your papers, you had tests, you had all these other things, but then you had to do a group experience, and they were marathon group experiences that would start on Friday and go to Monday morning. So you'd spend the night with the group. So I think we'd go in at like 8 a.m. on Friday and have lunch together, and everybody be exhausted, and we had mats we'd put down on the floor, and everybody was sleeping the first Friday night, and no one got any sleep. And then 8 o'clock Saturday morning, we'd get on up, and we'd do it all over again. And we did that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday morning at 8 o'clock, everybody was dismissed. And there was a rumor among the students that to get an A in the course, you had to cry. You had to cry during the group therapy process. That was the rumor. Whether it was true or not, I don't know. So, it was very intense. Those marathon groups, they were just very intense. And a lot of people cried. And so when we came up on the third marathon weekend, I started to cry. I was crying because I hadn't cried yet. And I was crying because I didn't want to not get an A. I wanted an A. So I was crying because I wanted an A. And not only that, it was just a very stressful time. I mean, that's 9 days, I think, of going through these marathon groups. It was just incredible. And people would give feedback, and it was a rough time. I was exhausted and tired, and I cried. I cried partly so I could get that A, partly because I was exhausted emotionally and physically. I know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. I don't want you to cry just to cry to get an A in the course. What I really want you to do is invest in the course. Don't be like I was. In my undergraduate course, I'd start off every paper I had to write. When I first got this paper and realized what I had to write, I was not interested in it at all. I didn't like it. I didn't want to participate. But now, after doing this, I've learned so much. That's all bullshit. You know that as well as I do. So, don't just don't. I'm really asking you to make an investment in yourself. Make an investment in yourself for this semester. Make this course fun, but learn. You can lie to me. You can say you read the book and not read the book at all. I probably won't know unless I look at, what your questions were, what you got wrong on the tests. But this isn't a time to just scoot by or skip a stone across the water, skim a stone and make it go. This is the time to throw the stone in the water and go deep. Go really deep. Learn as much as you can. You've got this summer. What a great time. What a great experience. Email me. Let me know what's going on. I want to be helpful to you. I want this to be the best course you've ever had. And I know you've had some great courses because you're here at UTSA, and we've got phenomenal faculty. And this is a time for you to just really learn, to immerse yourself in this course related to psychosocial aspects of addiction, and to really be able to pull things together. The DeWico book is like the Bible. It is thick. It is, there's a lot of information. Once you finish this course, there's a high probability if you go on for your LCDC, licensed chemical dependency counselor here in Texas, that you'll use that DeWico book to study. And the materials you've got here from class, that is a good book, but it's hard. It's not like reading a comic book. This isn't, graduate school is not fun. I understand that. But let's really immerse ourselves in the course this semester. Let's make it great for you. Let's have a great time. And if you encounter something, just send me an email and let me know what's going on. If a link is broke, don't panic over a broken link. Just send me an email. Say, the link's broken, and tell me which link. Send me your telephone number, so if I have a question, I can talk to you in person. And let's see what we can do to make this the best course you've yet had at UTSA, and allow me to be helpful to you. Listen, I've talked long enough. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is. Remember, you don't have to fight for parking. You don't have to eat downtown. You can make your own food, make your own sandwiches, make your own salads, and just enjoy this class together. So have a great day. What a privilege and honor it is to be working with you. I appreciate it so very much. Take good care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.